Welcome, cooks, to the Recipe Vault. Today we're making Chicken Italia. I pulled this card out of our handwritten recipe collection and I read through it. I think I want to make some changes. So let's have a little journey and see if we can make this dish Amy-fied, right? Welcome to the Amy Learns to Cook kitchen. So first off, the recipe calls for sauteing the onion and the chicken in butter. I think if I just do butter, it could brown too much. And since this is an Italian dish, I'm thinking it needs olive oil. So you can do just olive oil and throw in a little butter. That's what I've done here. And I have a little onion. This is one medium onion chopped. So we are going to saute this. Oh, it already smells good, right? We're going to saute this until these get a little translucent. So the recipe doesn't tell you what pan to use. It just says saute. I'm using a brazier. This is a Le Creuset brazier. My boo got this for me.
Oyster.
This one's an oyster. A brazier is an excellent pan to use on a dish like this. Another thing I could suggest is get yourself a set of these deli containers. I'll put links down in the description. I use these like for everything. Do your preps, throw it in here. Leftovers, throw it in here. Throw them in the dishwasher. So I keep them in this little thing. So they have large, they have medium, they have small. I got some smalls down there. They are awesome. I use them constantly.
You don't lose the lids, they're all the same lids.
Yeah, it's all the same lids. So one of the things that I've noticed since doing these recipes is they don't put enough seasoning for me. In fact, this is how they want you to do this. We got some sliced chicken in here, and the recipe does not call for any seasoning. Well, that doesn't work for me. So I'm going some salt, some fresh ground black pepper, maybe a little garlic, granulated garlic. I gotta have seasoning. I don't know what's up with that. That doesn't work for me. So this recipe calls for par-boiled rice, like minute rice or something.
Or Uncle Ben's.
Yeah, I don't use that. I keep it real, folks. When I'm talking real, I'm talking food, right? I try to keep everything to buy the minimally processed. I don't want to use that. So they cook the chicken all the way because they put the broth in there, bring it up to temperature, put the rice, cover it, turn off the heat, and it's literally done in 1 minute. We can't go that route because I'm not doing that. So I'm going to brown this up a little bit, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. So I hit it with a little bit of high heat. So I don't want to like overcook this. So we're going to put in garlic. They said 1 clove of garlic. Amy doesn't do that. I have like 5. I'm not scared of garlic. If you are, then don't put so much. And I have some zucchini. So we have an abundance of zucchini. This is our zucchini plants. So I cut them in little strips like this. We're going to go and add them. They said a small zucchini. I don't know. I had like a small zucchini and a mini. It's looking good. I didn't change up my spatula because this is going to be cooking for a while. So we're going to add, I'm adding 4 cups of, this is homemade chicken stock. with no salt in it. So I'm going to have to salt it. If you're using a store-bought, just don't adjust your salt how you like it. We're going to put in about a tablespoon of fresh lemon juice, not seeds, and not you seed either. No seed. We are going to put some fresh basil, and we just went out and picked this from Eric's garden. Okay, we're out here. Eric's clipping some basil. We have a little bucket of veggies here. This thing needs to be clipped because it's going to seed.
The new growth is really tender. The ones at the top here, the little babies.
Wow, it
soft.
smells good.
Oh, it smells really fresh. And you just rip that and go. You get that, just rip it, and then we're gonna move it by Amy's face here and go. It's really fragrant.
Look at them tomatoes. So all that basil, I chiffonade it, which means I just rolled it up like a... What's going on? I can see you. Roll. And then I cut it. And so it looks like this. It looks kind of like strips. I'm going to put like half of this in here because a little bit I'm going to save as fresh for the top.
The recipe calls for what? A quarter of a teaspoon
Of
total?
basil, which I'm thinking they're saying dried. It just says seasonings, but there are no seasonings. Oh, it says a dash of salt and a dash of pepper. I put in a dash of garlic, granulated garlic, which tastes different than regular. So I want to put in like 2 teaspoons of salt because I don't have any salt in my stock. Okay, so since I'm using homemade chicken stock that I don't salt because I want to control the salt depending on what dish that I make. I'm going to put salt in here. And usually you want like a teaspoon of salt per cup of rice. So that's what I'm going to do. Don't put that in if you're using commercial chicken stock because it'll be way too salty. Way too salty. So we need to bring this up to a boil. Should I put some Italian seasoning in here too, Boo?
Why not?
I'm out of my regular Tuscan Sunset. I need to get an order in for that.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite Italian seasoning. Ooh, yeah. Now we're talking. I'm a seasoning girl, seasoning and herbs. And one thing that's frustrating me, I'm looking through the recipe vault and I'm looking through those handwritten recipes and the clipped ones, and there's not a lot of seasoning. There's a lot of things that I adjust out of there. So I call recipes pretty much suggestions, right? It's a place for me to start that I can make the recipe my own. Just because someone made something one way years ago doesn't mean you still have to make it that way now if your tastes are different, right? So recipes are suggest-cepes, right? Suggest-cepes. Okay, so I have some jasmine rice. I rinse this, right? It's coming up to a boil. We're going to go ahead and put the rice in. Yum, yum, yum. Yum, 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 yum. We're going to stir that around, get that combined. They want 8 cherry tomatoes, half. I have cherry tomatoes, but ours are little babies. These from our garden, right? I'm putting them in whole. And I'm going to save a couple for the top for fresh. Because these will melt down and get happy. Probably crush down. I don't think that's a lot of tomato. Oh, wow. So that's up on a simmer. We're going to pop our little heavy Le Creuset lid on here, drop that temp down, and we're going to let it cook until this rice is tender. You need a nice tight fitting lid so that can happen. So when this is done, we'll be back to have us a little taste. Okay, Chicken Italia. Whoa. That looks like an amazing dinner. Let me get some plates so we can try it. Yeah. It's time to try this out. I'm going to go ahead and take the lid off here. Oosh. Bust the counter. It looks pretty good. Mm-hmm. So we're just going to give us a scoop of Chicken Italia. I can tell you there's a really strong, heavy basil smell in here. Wow, that looks really good. Mm-hmm. And I'm just going to top it off. If I don't have enough basil on here already, top it off with a little fresh basil. It has pretty good looking tomatoes. The tomatoes didn't totally bust up. Do we need more tomatoes? Probably not. Okay. It looks pretty good. Mm-hmm. Okay, you ready, Bill?
There
you go.
Thank you, Boo.
You're welcome, Chicken Italia. The zucchini kind of looks like pickles. I don't know if they're going to be overcooked.
They melt in your mouth.
The zucchini?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of want the zucchini to be crisp tender.
Well, that wasn't going to happen. They got great flavor.
Mm-hmm. Really good flavor.
Tomatoes great.
So, let me take a piece of the chicken.
Your chicken tastes really good.
So the danger on this kind of dish is you're just going to overcook the chicken. Mm-hmm. This isn't bad. This is an organic chicken. Some when I buy like the really cheap chicken, it just dries out like really quickly. A lot of strong basil flavor. That chicken stock comes through. Wow, it's nice and fresh tasting.
I'm picking up more of a broad seasoning and not necessarily just the basil.
Really?
Yeah. The rice is, to me, is really flavorful.
Yeah.
Compared to the chicken and the other stuff.
I really think the changes that we made are a big addition. No parboiled rice, all fresh ingredients. Yeah. It's delicious. This is a keeper.
Oh, yeah.
Our way, right? Mm-hmm. So I'll write this recipe up as I did it. I think you're really going to like it. It's difficult because I eat chicken a lot. And you get to the point where it's like you're making the same thing all the time. So it's fun to experiment and have different ways you can put, a chicken and rice dish. It's not always just the same way, right? And this is fantastic with the fresh herbs. It's delicious. So I got to go eat my Chicken Italia. Thanks for joining me.